I'm Ramona and welcome to Ramona Interviews, and with me in the chair today is Catherine Harragian. Now she's going to explain exactly who she is, but she has a company called Organic Garden Design.
And I run my business out from Sterling and work in the Worcester County area, basically, which is a beautiful area, many farms, and I was so allergic to working in an office. I had office diseases and sneezing and whatnot, so that I just started working in a garden. When I had my home, I started in the garden, and eventually I was outside all the time, and it just grew on me. I run a small farm, an organic orchard also. So it's just, I'm outside all the time, and I really do love it. And I like to make people's outdoors better for them, less chemical usage, and to help them enjoy it more, their landscape, basically.
So you took a hobby, turned it a hobby that was a passion, turned it into a business. Now, what kind of certification did you have to get?
But I am certified through the New England Organic Farm Association. They have a certification for land care providers, what they call it. Mm-hmm. And you follow organic procedures after being educated through their programs, and they really are very helpful to the community. It's a community-based organization.
What services do you provide, and could you list them for me?
Well, they're based on what customers need, but I do provide an organic land care program. It can kind of follow the standard 5-step program with the putting down a pre-emergent and treating your grubs with nematodes and liming the soil and fertilizing 5 times in the season. But if you have a healthy lawn, that's modifiable. It's not a strict program. And then we do pruning of shrubs. We do organic treatment of shrubs. Any bug problems you have, there are organic. And I use the word chemicals again because in our world we use all different kinds of materials, and some are inorganic and some are called organic, but basically we try to reduce inorganic landscaping, the toxic chemicals that pollute the environment. But getting back to what we do edging and mulching and all the standard maintenance of a landscape, basically. We don't really mow. We're not a mowing company.
Right.
And in the design area, we design all the features and hardscape and plantings and native plantings. We put in the plants for you. We can take care of them for you and help them grow, prune them as they come along. Mm-hmm. And composting, we do that everywhere. A lot of compost is used. And that's the basic and services.
So people can have a kind of a la carte, depending on what their needs are. They can choose.
Maybe definitely.
Maybe they just need pruning. And sometimes pruning is not as easy as it seems, depending on the age of the bush. I mean, this is one thing I learned looking at a bush, and it was a very overgrown bush. It was a very old bush. And I said, you know what? You can just take the top off, but you can't get the kind of middle to grow anymore because it's now so big.
Yeah, they're showing their legs a little,
oh,
the shrubs. Yeah.
You know, so it's really interesting, and someone had once said, you know, if you really would like to get this down to a size, taking the top off
isn't going to do it.
Yeah,
you're
just going to look horrible, first of all, and second of all, it's not going to fill in all of that other stuff. You kind of have to nitpick at it.
Right. There's a rejuvenation type of pruning that sometimes on older shrubs you can take out the oldest growth to get new sprouts coming up at the bottom of a suckering type of shrub. And then the rough haircut in organics, we try not to, plant plants that need that kind of hedge, very severe hedge pruning. It's a more natural look to the pruning and let the natural shape of the shrub be selectively pruned so that the natural shape is continued. And one of the biggest problems with pruning is people put their shrubs that are going to be trees or very large shrubs too close to the house. And it takes a lot of maintenance to keep that shrub small enough so it fits in at the foundation of your house. But another thing for pruning that we do is make sure that you kind of open up the center of the plant and that air circulates through the plants and the shrubs, and that prevents some of the disease problems that can come in. The shrubs do get stressed out when they are pushed in the wrong kind of conditions. And in organic landscaping, you're trying to put the right plant in the right place. You're not putting, you know, a plant that loves shade out in the blazing sun, like rhododendrons and azaleas. They like sun at a certain time of the day, and to put them out in a hot spot, they really will be stressed out and get diseases, possibly die.
This is why having someone come in that can hear what the client would like and then apply, you know, really what's practical.
It's a great thing to plan because plants can be expensive for people, and incorporating the native plants into someone's landscape is really very easy. Nowadays, we have a lot of beautiful native plants that are already in people's landscapes, the azaleas, the rhododendrons, but there are new plants coming on the market all the time, the winter berries, the native hollies that we have, all kinds of plants that are being grown in the nursery industry that just fit in perfectly. Don't plant them too close to your house. You know, sometimes they say, oh, this is a minis and this is a dwarf, but they're just slow growers. A lot of people plant the dwarf Alberta spruce, which is native to out western United States, but it's just, they're shaped like a, you know, you see them in a lot of places. They're a slow grower. So in 20 years, if it's planted close to your house, it is going to be a big tree and be a problem for you. But they are very beautiful and keep their needles and are really attractive. So anyway, in the nursery industry, there are a lot of the native plants coming in, the mountain laurels, and they're kind of breeding them also to be better suited to a landscape than out in the woods. And there are actually plants, invasive plants, which is another whole issue, like the burning bush is an invasive plant in the woods, but that's the one that turns bright orange in the fall.
Yeah.
You cannot buy that in the nursery industry anymore because they've taken it off of the market. In an organic aspect, we would like to plant smaller native plants where you're not having like a big, you know, 300-pound tree with a big giant root ball of foreign soil going into a spot, you know, and the tree has to be 10 feet tall. You start small and the tree develops its own roots more naturally and has a better root system.
Well, before we wrap, what's your website?
It is www.organicgardendesign.us, and I try to put information in there about, it has a link to a farming site that also has more information about organic techniques, and I just think it's important for people to know that no matter how small their effort to not pollute, you know, to use organic techniques, they really are helping our environment get to be a better place.
I am Ramona, and you've been watching Ramona Interviews. Have a wonderful, safe week.